Out in the American Southwest, there are towns where the calendar simply stopped. A gas station with pumps that still show prices from another lifetime. A motel office with the room keys still hanging on their hooks. A cafe counter set for customers who last came in when gas cost 30 cents. These towns weren't destroyed by a drought or a flood or a factory closing. They were killed by something much stranger. They were killed by a better road. All of them stood along the most famous highway on Earth, Route 66, the Mother Road, the Main Street of America. 2,500 miles from Chicago to the Pacific. And in 1985, the United States did something almost unthinkable. It took its most beloved road and erased it from the map. Deleted. Officially, Route 66 ceased to exist. This year, that dead road turns 100 years old, and half the country is throwing it a birthday party. How does a nation build a legend, kill it on purpose, and then fall back in love with the ghost? The answer runs through a barbershop in Arizona, and it starts with a fight over a number. The 1920s. America has millions of new automobiles, and almost nothing to drive them on. Long-distance roads are a patchwork of private trails, unmarked, unpaved, and unreliable. Getting from one state to the next is an adventure sport. So in 1925, Washington convenes a board to draw something new, a national system of numbered highways. And on that board sits a Tulsa oilman and highway commissioner named Cyrus Avery, a man about to commit the most productive act of hometown favoritism in American history. The planners want a great highway linking Chicago to Los Angeles. The obvious path runs straight west, over the mountains. Avery argues for a different shape. Bend the roads south, through Missouri, through Kansas, and, what do you know, right through his beloved Oklahoma, before running west across Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. His official argument is actually a good one. The southern bend avoids the highest passes of the Rockies, a road open in winter. The unofficial argument is sitting in Tulsa, waiting for the traffic. Avery wins the route. Then he nearly loses the war over the number. He wants US 60, a nice round number for a great road. Kentucky wants 60 for its own highway and fights so hard it threatens to walk out of the national system entirely. Washington offers Avery the number 62. He hates it. So he scans the list of unclaimed numbers and finds one nobody wants. 66. Double sixes. Easy to say. Easy to paint on a shield. Impossible to forget. On November 11, 1926, U.S. Highway 66 is born. 2,448 miles, Chicago to Santa Monica, through 8 states. A road named by a compromise, about to become more famous than every road that outranked it. Avery understands something no highway official had ever quite grasped. A road can be a brand. He founds an association to promote 66, and promote it he does. In 1928, they staged the Bunyan Derby, a foot race, an actual foot race, from Los Angeles to Chicago along Route 66, then on to New York. Newspapers can't get enough. When Los Angeles hosts the 1932 Olympics, the association buys national magazine ads telling America to drive 66 to the games. Much of the road is still dirt and gravel, and it's already a celebrity. "5 months after the road got its name, in the little railroad town of Seligman, Arizona, right on the new highway, a boy was born named Angel Delgadillo. Remember him. The road and the barber are the same age, and they will live the same life." Route 66's first great roll wasn't glamorous. In the 1930s, the Dust Bowl broke the southern plains, and hundreds of thousands of families loaded everything they owned onto trucks and drove west on 66, chasing work in California. Young Angel watched them roll through Seligman, mattresses on roofs, children in truck beds. John Steinbeck watched them too. In The Grapes of Wrath, he gave the highway the name it never lost: the Mother Road. The road that carried a broken people toward hope. No slogan ever bought could match the one a novelist gave it for free. Then came the war, and the Mother Road went into uniform. From his corner of Seligman, young Angel watched the convoys roll, men and machines streaming west to the ports and bases, day after day. The road was pounded half to pieces carrying the load. But the war did something else, quietly. It showed millions of young Americans the country from a truck window. And when they came home, they wanted to see it again, on their own terms. So came the good years, the late 40s, the 50s. Gas is cheap, cars have fins, Dad has 2 weeks of vacation, and America invents its great national ritual, the road trip. If you took one as a kid, you remember the feeling exactly. The back seat stacked with pillows, the folded map in the glove box, the license plate game across 3 states, and that first neon glow rising out of the desert dark that meant a motel pool. In 1946, a songwriter named Bobby Troup boils the whole dream into one line: "Get your kicks on Route 66." And Nat King Cole makes it a national anthem of motion. 66 isn't a road anymore. It's a promise. The painted desert, the Grand Canyon detour, California at the end. And along its shoulders, an entire civilization blooms. Motor courts with buzzing neon, filling stations where a man in a cap cleans your windshield, drive-in burger stands, curio shops, teepee-shaped motels. Hundreds of towns, some built by the railroad, all fed by the road. In these towns, the highway isn't near the economy. The highway is the economy. Every gas tank, every motel bed, every slice of pie, paid for by traffic. In 1950, Angel Delgadillo opens a barber shop in Seligman, a few steps from the roadside. Life is simple arithmetic. The road brings the world past his window, and some of the world stops for a haircut. Hold that arithmetic, because 800 miles east, a signature is about to reverse it. June 29, 1956. President Dwight Eisenhower signs the Federal Aid Highway Act. $25 billion, about $220 billion today, to build 41,000 miles of interstate highways, the largest public works project in the history of the United States to that day. The storybook version says Ike dreamed it up after a miserable 1919 Army convoy. 2 months to cross the country on roads so bad that bridges cracked and trucks sank axle-deep in mud. And after admiring Germany's autobahns during the war. The real history is messier. Congress did most of the building of the bill. But the vision was real. Wide, fast, safe highways, coast to coast. A crossing that took that Army convoy 2 months would soon take 5 days. For the nation, it was a gift. Buried in the engineering, though, was a death sentence nobody read aloud. The interstates were limited access roads, by design. No stoplights, no intersections, no main street. They didn't go through towns, they went around them. Understand what that means for a town whose entire economy is passing traffic. The interstate doesn't compete with your town. It doesn't undercut your prices or out-advertise you. It simply makes you cease to be on the way to anywhere. Route 66's towns had one asset. They were between Chicago and Los Angeles. The interstate took that asset and gave it to nobody. The moment that pen touched paper in 1956, every roadside town on Route 66 was already condemned. The fatal decisions arrive in spreadsheets, not sirens. And this one arrived as 41,000 miles of blueprint. What made it uniquely cruel was the schedule. The executions would take 28 years, one bypass at a time. Town by town, decade by decade, the new interstates opened in parallel segments, and every ribbon cutting somewhere was a funeral somewhere else. The traffic didn't fade. That's the thing to understand. It vanished the day each bypass opened. Ask Angel Delgadillo. In September 1978, Interstate 40 opened its lanes around Seligman, Arizona. Angel would tell the story for the rest of his life, and years later, he told it to a filmmaker from California, whose name you'll recognize in a moment. The traffic through town, he said, virtually disappeared on the day the interstate opened. Think about that from inside the barber shop. Monday, an endless river of cars, as there had been every day since before you were born. The river your father knew, the river that fed every business on the street. Tuesday, silence. You can stand in the middle of Main Street, the main street of America, and hear the wind. What follows the silence is arithmetic, and you know it by now from dead malls and dying giants. No traffic, no customers. No customers, no gas station, no cafe, no motel. The young leave for the cities. The old hold on, waiting for a river that is never coming back. Multiply Seligman by hundreds, across 8 states for 3 decades. Some towns dried up to nothing. Empty shells on the Texas-New Mexico line. Motels returning to the desert. Main streets where the only movement is tumbleweed and the occasional photographer. The towns where time stopped, because time on Route 66 had always been measured in traffic. The end came with a ceremony. October 13th, 1984. Interstate 40 opened around Williams, Arizona, the last Route 66 town in America to be bypassed. They held a ribbon cutting, and the era closed. And the following June, 1985, the officials made it formal. U.S. Highway 66 was removed from the national highway system. Not just closed, deleted. The shields came down. The maps went blank. The most famous road on Earth, officially, never there. So, can a road's death kill towns? You've seen the answer. But flip the question, because that's where the real lesson is. These towns didn't fail. Their people didn't fail. The country simply changed what it valued. It chose speed over places, the destination over the way there. And it never really decided that, not out loud. It just signed for the fast road and let the arithmetic do the rest. Every ghost town on Route 66 is a receipt for that trade. Which brings us back to the barber shop. Because Angel Delgadillo, bypassed, half-forgotten, cutting hair in a silent town, did not accept the trade. In 1987, 2 years after the road was erased, the barber called a meeting. Out of it came the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona, a campaign with a demand so modest it was almost defiant. Put up signs. Mark the old road, historic Route 66. Let people find it again. It worked. Arizona posted the signs. Then every other Route 66 state followed with associations of their own. And travelers came. First, a trickle of nostalgics, then Europeans and Japanese tourists flying across oceans to drive an American two-lane past the teepee motels. In Seligman, they lined up at Angel's barbershop for a trim and a story, and at his brother Juan's snow-capped drive-in next door for a burger served with a practical joke. The road that had been deleted from the map became, of all things, a destination. Not the way to somewhere anymore, but the somewhere itself. Then Hollywood came to the barber shop. A Pixar director named John Lasseter, researching a film about a forgotten town on a bypassed highway, sat with Angel and heard the story, the river of cars and the day it went silent. That film was Cars, the town of Radiator Springs, erased from the map by the interstate, saved by being remembered. That's Seligman, Arizona. The barber's story, told to every child on Earth. And now the strangest chapter of all. This November 11th, 2026, Route 66 turns 100. A road that officially hasn't existed for 40 years is getting a year-long, 8-state birthday party. Travel magazines are calling the Ghost Road one of the top destinations in the world. And the barber born beside it, 5 months after it got its name? The road and Angel Delgadillo reached their 100th birthdays within months of each other. The man and the mother road, running the whole race together. You can bypass Main Street America. You can starve it, delist it, scrub it off the maps. What you apparently cannot do is make people stop loving it. The interstate won the argument about speed. Route 66 won the argument about meaning. It just took 40 years to count the votes. Next time, we pull off the highway for dinner at the empire that fed the great American road trip. Orange roofs, 28 flavors of ice cream. At its peak, the biggest restaurant chain in America, more than 1,000 locations. Today, you've driven past its ghosts without knowing. Howard Johnson's, how America's dinner table by the highway simply disappeared. That's next time on Boomtown, America.